See, I like the way the Nurgle Beast looks.
So do
No.
I. Yep.
Yeah.
So do I.
It's
Dave
okay to
doesn't
be
know what
wrong,
he's talking
fellas.
about. Which is perfect.
Okay, so Dave.
I know it looks like he's got like weird green slinkies coming out of his head.
So
Well,
Dave,
that's
hold
an
on.
option.
I just want to make sure I hear this right. Dave, you think the Beast of Nurgle is worse than the Slaves of Darkness Chaos Spawn?
Yeah, because at least the Chaos Spawn, there's multiple options to build from the box.
Oh, there's a lot of options for the Beast of Nurgle.
Well, they must all be shitty. I don't know. The one.
Well,
I've
now that
seen
we
is
got
terrible.
all of that on recorded history that's going to go live on YouTube, welcome to Strength Hammer episode 18! Yay!
Huzzah.
Hi, I got Matt.
Yes.
We got Neil,
Hi guys.
and we got
Thought you were just going to give a strong agreed.
and we got the woke Roke
Present.
with the Beast of Chaos take, I guess. Beast of Nurgle? I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm Chuck, and yeah, today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite subject. Well, at least my favorite subject, because I don't have one. Backlogs.
Oh, you do.
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh yeah, you
no.
do. I'm gonna explain to you why you do, Chuck. I'm gonna actually explain it.
All right, well, hold on. We're going to get there. Before we do, usually at this part of the show is when we'll start talking about our fitness and our hobby. And I want to give a shout out to a special friend of the show, Martin Orlando. Neil, you and I were on a chat with him recently, and he let us know that he does tune into our show, even if he doesn't care about the subject, just to hear about our hobby and, you know, like our fitness, and because he's a good friend. He wants to know what everyone's going up to, and to help him, I think we should start with the show's main topic today instead of our hobby and fitness. What do you guys think?
That's fine.
Let's do it.
Sure.
All right, so Martin, you're gonna have to hang on to the end here, but we're doing this for you so you can listen to the whole show and know what's going on. And we will have Martin on the show sometime in the near future, talking Lumineth. Which actually, brief interlude, right before we decided to record, and unfortunately leaks started coming out, or fortunately, I don't know, for Lumineth on Kangaroos? Battle Roos? I don't know. I like them. Some people won't. That's fine. I don't know. What do you guys think about leaks? They're fun, but they're not fun. Like, they kind of ruin what the preview is supposed to be this Saturday.
I mean,
I don't know. I can wait 2 days to not see a grainy image.
Yeah.
Please. You know, what does it do for you, really? Yeah.
I mean, I've never been a big, big person that worries about spoilers and stuff like that. Like, so I'd rather see something sooner. And again, like I said, in all honesty, like, if anything, I get more excited because, oh, here's a grainy image. So now I know, hey, on Saturday at the very latest, now they're going to like really show off that model. Or, you know, on Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to get a really nice image of it to really be able to see it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, seeing it on the preview this weekend, whenever the preview is supposed to happen, that's one thing. But now GW is probably going to have to put out an article tomorrow or the day after with high quality images of it, just to take away, like yeah, you need to see the models in high quality. You don't want to see a grainy image, but it's just like, I don't know. It kind of takes like.
What they should do is they should put out an even grainier image.
That's true. It's true.
I should just double
The
down.
whole thing.
I think what they really need
Yeah.
to do is they really need to just pay some kid a couple bucks here and there, and just be like, generate stuff that looks almost believable to be ours, and release grainy images just every couple of months that have nothing to do with what we're doing. I want the red herrings. That's what I want. That's my take on
Or
it.
really blurry
That'd be
pictures.
awesome.
Break it into grainy. Let's do grainy images, but break them into puzzle pieces that people have to
Ooh,
then
yeah.
go and try and put together.
No, I want them to take people in the office. Obviously, they're not fully in the office right now, but I want them in the office, like, doing the poses themselves on like makeshift versions of the mounts. Like, I want it to be grainy, That's how I want. And then I want someone to Photoshop behind it to make it look like it, so you can't tell. It's like, is that Phil Kelly riding a mop, or is that a Lumineth riding a battle rue? Like, that's what I want.
I should actually release most of the pictures just like a Photoshop face of one of their people.
Yeah.
Right over top
I
of the
think
face.
it's a Sentinel riding Eddie.
And so now, what I think is we need another Golden Demon category of, the Warhammer community team riding janitorial supplies. So you've got someone who has to model and paint to a very high standard Phil Kelly riding a mop.
Actually, hold on. I think you're onto something. I saw the lane you're taking, and I saw your exit, and I said, I think I can go a few more miles before I need gas. I think what it is they're taking these blurry pictures, and it's giving us reasonable expectations of what we can achieve, because that's an heavy metal model blurred. That's Chuck Moore painting level right there. Like, we got this.
I can't get those blends. I can't get that level blending.
You just dry brush everything.
Yeah, I can see Wednesday an article coming out going, so I heard you guys like blurry photos.
That would be fun. Well, I mean, maybe next time. I mean, right now this is Monday the 18th, but this podcast won't go out until Friday, so right before the preview. So after we've seen some high quality images, so let's all pretend like we've seen them. Ooh, man, these are amazing models.
Yes. Stunning. I also think
except for that one.
Crikey.
When they're starting the show on Saturday and they're saying, "Oh, you guys are going to love this release," they have to start it blurry.
That'd be great.
And talk about it for like a solid 2-3 minutes, and then have it gradually come into focus.
That'd be perfect. Actually,
I'm gonna step one higher here. I say they do the entire preview show blurry, and then at the end go, stop releasing our stuff early and just close it off.
Ooh.
So you're gonna go spiteful dad route. Okay.
Do it.
He's full on doubling down on old GW.
I did see this on Twitter, and I was having a little back and forth with Dan from Amateur Shorts and on it. So someone on Twitter said that allow these kangaroo Lumineth, for lack of a better term, ally with the Spider Fang and make it the Australian themed army. And it's like, hold on, put in the sharks from Ideneth. All right, we got to put in Melusai, got to put in Croxagore.
Yeah.
And then I pulled it all together and I said, that's the army, but it has to be set in Akshi.
Yeah, the Akshi walkabout battalion.
Now, to be fair,
Or just because it's on fire a lot. I don't know.
If you think about the creatures in Australia, it could also be Shyish. It is the realm of death.
Shyish is not on fire sometimes. Actually, he's always on fire.
Sometimes.
Fine, you take the high joke, I'll take the lowbrow joke, all right? That's what we're doing. But yeah, I do look forward to the
Chuck,
preview, that's for sure.
You totally missed a chance because you talked about the kangaroo Lumineth. They're just the kangaroo Mineth. That's just how it is.
That's a whole different type of elf. You gotta.
We got the battle cattle, we have the battle ruse. Everything's gonna be battle something, all right? That's just how this army's working now. I mean, we're.
Oh, surrender now.
No,
You have to wear those old shoes from the 80s, those ruse that had the tiny little pocket in the side.
Oh yeah,
There
man.
you go. Yeah. Actually, just real quick, I don't hate it. Like, it looks kind of cool. I think it's kind of neat. And like I said, some people are gonna hate it, some people are gonna like it. That's what models are. It's art. So we won't dwell on that. But I'll probably figure out how to paint up one of those for my army, which I've been loving playing, by the way. But that's in Hobby Talk. Right now, Martin, just for you, we're starting off with the main topic right after a word from our sponsor. Matt?
All right, buckle in, guys. So, so now there are two types of people in this world. Now there are sharks and there are sheep, and most people fall into one of them two there categories. So you got the old angry man in there in his car on the highway going vroom vroom, trying to hit that old automobile hunker ball, and it going bah bah, and he all angry and upset. So you might think he's a sharp, but when he gets home, no, he just a sheep, man. He just a sheep. And you got the guy at the office sitting around taking your work, giving the old big boss man saying, "This is the work I did," and you're like, "Nah, man, I'm sheep. But that man's a shark. So, when you got the sheeps and you got the sharks, and they're all swimming and flowing together, walking around, you know what they ain't doing? They ain't painting. The sheep and sharks, they don't got hands. You know who do got hands? Brush for hire. Brush for hire, got hands.
I was not expecting the Southern gentleman mixed with a little bit of PA hick as your accent, but you said buckle in. I should have buckled in. All right, so today's topic is all about working through that mighty backlog that most people have. It's inevitable. The longer you are in this hobby, I think it's become a cultural norm within this hobby. I think it needs to be fought against as the cultural norm in this hobby. Yeah, I'm gonna take that stand because I spent. I guess preface. The reason I want to do this topic is because I've seen a lot of people talk about it lately. This year seems to be people continuing to be in some form of lockdown or quarantine or wherever you're at in the world and whatever that means to you. A lot of people are buckling down to try and get it done because GW's having to pace out their releases right now because of their limited time getting shipments out, which is all well and good. So people are really trying to get their armies done, and it's fun to see because as someone who spent all last year doing that and getting it all knocked out, it is the most liberating, freeing thing I have ever done within this hobby. And I think the backlog we should shame those people, and you should be forced to get it done or sell it off by a certain date because you're just wrong. I'm gonna take that hot stand. That's where I'm at.
I'm gonna go ahead and call you a dirty liar, Chuck.
How am I a dirty liar?
You've had those.
You are a dirty liar. I want to know.
You've had that high elf
wanna
box
know
somewhere in your
if you
house
have any-
unpainted for a couple years now.
Listen, you've threatened to say that's in your
Not
house,
just
not
that.
mine.
Do you have any terrain? Do you have any terrain in your house?
Not terrain
Anyway.
that belongs to me. I mean, I've painted terrain right over here. I mean, you can't
Now,
see it.
still, do you have any terrain that needs to be finished?
That doesn't need to be
before
finished. And,
something.
I mean, we don't know what something you may or may not be happening, and I just because I'm
Well, sure,
just
but
because
it's there.
just because I'm
It needs to be
politely storing it for a national event out of the goodness of my heart doesn't mean
it's
I'm gonna be the
painted
one.
then, right?
Doesn't mean I'm gonna be the one to paint it. No. I'm the middleman in this.
done.
This isn't a commission. This isn't mine. This is a generous
a gray
gift.
area.
This is a generous gift from Anthony Polcastro, the legend, the 3D printer god himself. Gifted plenty of terrain to Nova, and I even have bins I put it in. My own bins I'm giving to Nova, which also those bins aren't painted. You guys gonna give me shit for that?
Yeah, why aren't
Yeah,
the bins
that
painted?
sounds about right. Yeah. I mean, the bins are
I mean,
clearly
it
a
sounds like a
contract
backlog
job.
to
It's
me.
really easy.
What it sounds like.
That's
it
not-
sounds like something that needs to be done that hasn't been done.
Doesn't need to be done. And it's not a backlog until we know for sure Nova's happening. And at which point I am gonna actually I will be having the Nova team, I guess, go down to their events to help paint that. So I have written that off from my mind. That is not my terrain. That is someone else's terrain. And yeah, and I did a lot last year or 2 years ago. Wow, that's when it
Well,
was.
and conveniently, guys, I've written off all my unpainted models as not counting against my backlog either.
Right, but you own yours, don't you? Like they're your models. You paid your money for it.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing with Nova. Everything for Nova. Even if I had a whole unpainted army right here, right next to me, like just sitting here stacked up, my Barrack Throng army, Threngi, whatever it's called.
Three.
Yeah. Even if it was sitting here and I said this is for Nova, then that means all the times for charity. So it's already written off. See, that's how you got to be for charity to have things written off, Dave. That's how it works. You have a backlog. Neil, I'm not so sure about yourself. You've been busting through
I have to agree.
many models lately due to some
This is gonna get.
forced downtime. Yeah.
I'm a eunuch.
Oh, that sounds like
So no more uptime.
fitness and hobby talk possibly.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
Matt, you have plenty of models yourself. You also have the excuse that being a employee with a company that gives you a discount on these models means you don't spend less money, you just get twice as much crap.
Well, I mean, I look at it. I go with the Gandalf route, where I have the exact amount of painted models that I intend to have. Uh,
Okay, all right.
I mean, in all honesty, I actually am. I'm absolutely the 100% polar opposite of you, because yeah, I have unpainted models, but I couldn't care less. Like,
Mhm.
I have a bunch of unpainted Stormcast. I'm not going to use any of my Stormcast models. Like, if it's a model I intend on using, yeah, I want to get it painted. But if it's like, if you're going to come by after work, or someone's going to swing by, or I'm going to go out and just play a game on someone's dining room table, I'm not worried about having painted models for that.
Right.
If it's something like Nova or Ren 4 or even a Ligonier 1 day tournament, I wanted a painted army for that. Uh, so, like I said, you should paint what you're going to use, but at the same time, because like today I was, we had a 3 day weekend. My work was closed down today, so I spent yesterday and today just building, and I had no problem building. You know, but whenever it came to the thought of like painting, I was like, I don't have the mental space for it right now. And so like we've talked about before, so for me, painting is stressful.
Mhm.
It is this constant like tightrope walking of, boy, I have a million other things to do, and boy, I'm a hair's breadth away from ruining this model. Or not even, if not ruining, giving myself more painting to do because I just messed something up. um, and at the end of the day, this hobby is supposed to be relaxing and it's supposed to be fun. So if you're not, if you have a model that you enjoyed building and you're using every once in a while and you're not enjoying painting, don't paint it.
Bold.
It is. It is, but it sounds like a bunch of excuses to me, Matt.
There's no excuse there. Don't want to do it, don't do it.
I'm
Man,
not.
if anything, here's the other thing. Here, let me go deep. Since you have, most people are like Chuck over here. If there's
I
no
don't think
painting
so.
requirement, yeah, I think so.
I don't think
Listen,
so.
whenever you're going to an event, it's always, oh, everything needs to be painted. Everything needs to be painted.
No,
Neil.
but see, I'm talking. Well, Neil, hold on to your thought real quick on this. I'm talking everything, literally everything. Not get this army done, and I have 12,000 more points of random
But
crap
somewhere
behind me. I'm
between
talking
the
literally
real,
everything.
the normal is somewhere between Chuck and Neil.
Okay, all right.
So if you go to an event that doesn't have a painting requirement, if you bring everything all gray, you're getting inside your opponent's head.
Neil, what were you gonna say?
My blood pressure. No, just my blood pressure's raising thinking about
See,
an
that's
event
exactly
with
what
no
I'm talking
painting
about.
requirement.
Now, I do want to come in and I want to piggyback on a little bit of what Matt said, where he says, if he's going to use it, he's going to paint it. To me, I think that push to get that full 2,000 point army painted, that's a real thing, particularly to go to an event. So, Chuck, when you had your outdoor event, I worked like hell to get my stuff finished, and that's I don't think I quite made it for yours. I made it for Mike's, but that's a big thing, that impetus to get something painted. And then once you hit the 2,000 mark, I start to lose that drive. All of a sudden, it's much less critical, unless it's like, oh, I really want to switch out this stuff for this model, so I need to paint this thing to get it into the next 2,000 points. So I see a little tiny bit of where Matt's going, but I want to get all my shit painted. It's a long road.
Again, see, that's the happiness of the Matt train is, you want to paint it? Paint it. You don't want to paint it? Shut up, Chuck.
I don't know. I'm leaning more towards Chuck's aspect of things. I have let's see. If I'm thinking through the models I have, it's like I've got like 15 Black Knights, a vampire lady on foot, a couple Nurgle trees, and a bunch, craptastic full load of terrain that I still have to paint. So that's why I was giving Chuck
I'll
shit.
tell you right now, those Nurgle trees, I bought those the day they came out, built them and primed them same day, and they've been unpainted since.
It's
I used them
because
for
you
all that
played with
little
them
time, and
for
they
a
worked.
game immediately.
Hell yeah. And they
And honestly,
just fine.
those Nurgle trees are 100% absolutely useless to me. I have 3 of them painted already, so they are going to be Ren 4 terrain, and so they are getting pushed back. They're also a pain in the ass to actually paint those things. I don't know if anybody's ever given one of those things a shot, but yeah, so they're going to be at the end. But I mean, I understand what Matt's saying. Like, I've got 15 Black Knights, and I'm not sure what in the world I really need those for. And the other thing is that, you know, I'm assuming, like, you know, with some of the stuff that we saw on the leaks, I don't know what's happening with the Death faction. I don't know what's going on with Legions and the Gash. So that makes me kind of wonder, do I want to paint these models? Do I just want to give them away? That's an easy way to get your backlog done. Give it away.
Yeah. No,
Somebody else's now.
I've given away more on the 40k side, but I've let models go, especially unpainted. I have a hard time letting go of painted models. But unpainted, yeah, it's like, if I don't paint it by this date, just sell it, give it to a new hobbyist, and let them have fun with it.
Yeah, I'll say that, you know, I gave away enough of my 40k models to the point where I have raised my painted percentage up to, like, I would say probably
Double
30
digits.
30 to 40% of my 40k is now painted.
Doesn't it feel better? Don't you feel 30 to 40% happier?
No, I don't care at all.
More accomplished?
Couldn't care less.
Real quick, before we continue
I
dive
will
on this, I do want to give a shout out, because I've heard a lot of people, there is a website called Pile of Potential. It allows you to track and organize your projects or your backlog, however you want to see it. And I do like that they're using the term Pile of Potential, giving a positive spin to it. So definitely go check out that website. AOS Coach did a great walkthrough on that website, so feel free to check that out while you're also checking out my recent visits over onto his channel. Haha, shameless plug. But yeah, but I would warn you, don't, because there's a nice tool that allows you to work through it, don't use it as an excuse to add more to your backlog, from my point of view. Get through it, because not having it is great from what I've experienced. And sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Neil.
Well, so I was going to say, you know, at some point I like working through my backlog. I like having a backlog, because unlike Matt here, painting actually relaxes me. Going downstairs, putting a podcast on, an audiobook. I've been watching Babylon 5 recently while I've been painting, you know, and I've seen it, I don't know how many times, but just have it on the background listening, you know, and I just sit there and paint. And if I completed my backlog, I would kind of be like, I guess I gotta go buy more models now. Like,
Oh, no, I don't want to say,
like, what do I do tomorrow night? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't want to say that's not the case, but I'm saying, like, right now at any given time, I will have usually a box of something or like a model on my hobby desk, and I'll have one in the wings. So I'm always going to have like a constant flow of stuff to do as I want to. But knowing at any given time, like, that I'm working on a character on Overlord's army, that I can just start this army and I have nothing else preventing me from doing it, is such a great feeling. I can't describe it. It's just like,
I think another good way to start to kind of go through that is, you know, when I was young, and it was just me and my brother playing in a basement, old Warhammer Fantasy, we had a rule that nothing went on the table, because my brother would not paint. I didn't have this rule, but nothing went on the table if it wasn't painted. Period. Couldn't play with it. Done. So, I mean, if you kind of set that as a goal for yourself or as a hard limit, you'll find yourself getting through that backlog pretty quickly. If you want to see that unit on the battlefield that you just bought, you're very happy about. If you would have sat there and primed it and said, "Hey, we're playing with this now," I'd have been like, "No, get out of here. It's not happening." So it would never happen if I'd have let it happen. So,
okay, well, I think we've all set how we feel about a backlog, but let's talk about what we do to help us get through a backlog? Like Matt, Matt and Dave, you guys probably have the biggest backlogs here. I don't know which one would have more, either 6,000 Noblars or 6,000 armies. Matt,
You can think about it. I actually don't have that big of a backlog now because I've given most of that crap away.
Because you don't associate it with
And I painted
backlog.
it.
You just say, no, I'm not painting it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I have my Stormcast.
okay.
Um,
And here's the thing. Matt, you're currently working on Lumineth, all right?
yeah,
Your-
working on my Lumineth.
Your Lumineth, and let's even consider for the sake of this argument, you have a Lumineth army. That's not a backlog. That's your current project.
Yeah.
So let's not say like each interval, every 10 Sentinels is like added to your backlog. Okay,
I would
outside
say
of your
I
Lumineth.
I think I have. So I have some KO that I'll probably never paint because I don't like the direction the book went.
Hey, I need some KO.
Okay, I'll. That's the other issue. Like it's just like it's like random sprues outside of a box. That's
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway,
I think I have 2 Iron Jaw heroes on foot, a box of the Pig Riders, and then I would say 70% of all Underworld's warbands. So that's really not all that bad.
That does not sound all that bad.
yeah, a bunch of
Mine
small
doesn't
projects.
sound bad.
Again, before it was bad, whenever I had 3,000 points of Death Watch, 4,000 points of Grey Knights, 3,000 points of Space Wolves.
Yeah, Custodes.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. You have a bunch of small projects, which definitely does suit.
4,000 points of Dispossessed.
No, live and learn, I guess. All right, well, Dave, since you're claiming the biggest backlog, what's your backlog?
Unfortunately.
What's your backlog?
Okay, so one thing that goes way back to the beginning of my hobby is I still have surprisingly little painted of my Silver Tower box. So still got that. Yeah, that's going way back.
Is it built?
I
Have you played the
have-
game?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
alright.
all built. It's all primed. It's all.
I wasn't sure if it was like
weighted.
the Dreadfleet issue I had, where I got Dreadfleet when it came out, and I painted it last year.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, not quite.
Okay.
Not
All
quite.
right. Gotcha.
It's half of that.
Okay.
Then my Seraphon army, at one point I traded my only foray into 40k for a large quantity of so that supplemented what I already had, and some of that is painted by others and I intend to redo, so that's on my backlog. Some of it is unpainted, so that's on my backlog. I think I have an unbuilt salamander. I have a whole bunch of Seraphon that is part of the backlog and therefore part of the problem. And then I said, oh, you know what looks awesome? These Beastclaw Raiders look awesome. So I started getting Beastclaw Raiders. And so I have 2,000 points of painted Beastclaw Raiders. And then I said, oh, you know what's awesome and terrible? This battalion where I can make 180 Noblars and 2 of the little catapult things. And so I have all that to paint. I have the 180 Noblars, which are partially painted. Some of them are getting close, but I haven't worked on them for a while. I have 2 halves of the Feast of Bones box, of which I've basically painted one model because I green stuffed and converted a butcher from one of the tyrants. Mm-hmm. So that's a fair amount of the ogres that need painting.
I mean, really, Dave, if you want to come over for a weekend, like bring a 6-pack of Guinness or something, me and you can get through this 180 Noblars in a weekend. And I'm not even kidding. I know I could do that.
No, we can't.
I could.
I can't.
It's not contrast either. It's color.
So Chuck,
It's color, wash, and maybe a dry brush.
if you're comfortable with doing about 179 of them, I'll take you up on it.
I mean, they're not going to be any better than
I
the
may
Romans
be
I just
rounding
painted.
down.
I guess if you
So-
if you really like highlighting, then yeah, because you have to highlight them all. Because I'm not doing that.
No, I'm doing a little dry brush at the end to create the highlights, um, and now I have started my next project with all of that on the back burner. Oh, and by the way, I have a lot of terrain still to paint, including the Seraphon ziggurat thing and a whole bunch of terrain, both for the club and for my own table.
Well, terrain for the club, you can separate that out. That's a group backlog. It's not your personal backlog.
However, I do have a lot of terrain that's my personal terrain that's part of the backlog.
Okay.
And my new project is the Ideneth Deepkin that I'm getting into to support our Soulbound game. But I do have a plan. Okay. And it's actually funny because I just talked to my wife about this today. Because I was downstairs building away at eels from the Start Collecting box. I'm not going heavy eel. Just want to point that out. And I'm also building them with the shields that I think are the much weaker option, but I don't know. So the plan is this. So I want to be acquiring new Ideneth models, and I want to be working on them. And I have a Start Collecting box now, and I have made a purchase in support of my birthday that will be the Blood Surf Hunt. So as of my birthday in 2 months, I will have these 2 boxes. And every time I finish painting a unit of Deepkin, before I can move forward, I have to paint a unit of something else. I have to paint something from the backlog before I can move forward.
Yeah, what's a unit of Noblars? 60?
Probably.
Okay.
I really need to count it that way. I'm going to have to count it the way I intend to use it. So, because otherwise it's not going to work. Because otherwise I'll be like, well, I've got this one, because I've got them on movement trays of 10. I'll finish these 10 Noblars. But it doesn't work that way. So, so that's my plan to attack the ridiculous backlog. I can't keep building my army, and I'm going to do it the Neil way of, if it's not painted, it's not going on the table. So I will have an Ideneth army shortly before they're retired by GW at some point. Right before they get squatted, I'll be like, all right, guys, I got 2,000 points.
Perfect. Get that one last game in, N times 2, whatever you want to call it.
There you go.
Well, I mean, that's definitely a good way to do it. It does, to me, it sounds a little bit like you're forcing yourself to paint something you don't want to paint, so you can have permission to paint what you do want to paint, which doesn't feel like
yes,
it's a...
No.
That doesn't... Okay, all right. I'm like, that's what I see.
So,
and like, I don't just go lifting just so I can eat chocolate.
Here's my issue with the painting. I do not like painting. What I do really like, I love the finished product. I love feeling really good about, hey, I made this happen. This was my work. I love being done painting. So just even with the grunt work that is grinding through those Noblars, that army is going to look fantastic on the table, even though those Noblars are going to be tabletop quality if you squint. So that finished product, looking at 180 Noblars and 2 scrap launchers, and it's going to have a tyrant that is some old model. It's a metal model of like an orc with a goblin on his shoulder. That he's going to be the tyrant for the army. Like it's going to look great on the table.
Grimlock from the Warhammer Age of Reckoning game, the limited model.
I don't know. I got it from
Grimlock and Gazbag.
My friend Carl. It's something like that.
If that's it, I have that model. Man, that's the only thing I ever wanted to do with orcs. But anyway, side tangent right there.
So he's going to be the tyrant for the army, and I have a whole bunch of the Feast of Bones models, the Lead Belchers and the Gluttons, to build and paint for it. But it's going to be really neat to see. I want to see it. I want to be the cause of it being out there. I have severe hobby ADD. I can't stick with one thing. So that's why I'm going to force myself to, if I want to stick with this new thing, I have to also patch up the old things.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that works for you. I mean, sounds like you're on board with your own idea for it. So like, I think it's going to work, just as long as you keep the motivation
I'm on board
going.
with it for now, and until I start painting Noblards again.
Yeah. I guess before we go to Neil, Matt, what's your strategy to get through your backlog?
So honestly,
Or is it
I
just
think the thing.
shut up, Chuck? Is that your?
No. So one of the things that helped me. So nowadays it's basically just I get off work and then I go, okay, do I have it in me to paint? If yes, then whenever I get into it, if I get the ADHD hyperfocus, then it's no problem. Otherwise, I'll paint for at least an hour and then say, okay, I painted for an hour. I did what I can do, and then I'll go to something less hair pulling. But the reason why it's 1 hour is because of Facebook group.
The 1 hour a night.
1 hour a night.
Yep.
Yeah, which is something you invited me to, which really helped get the ball rolling in the first place. Because that was one of the issues I had before. Is even whenever I had an event coming up, I didn't want to paint, and I couldn't do anything. Like I would just look at it and look at all of it and be like, no, I can't do it, or no, I don't want to do it. And then whenever I started doing 1 hour a night, it was just that. I was just painting for an hour. If I wanted to paint more, I'd paint more. If I didn't want to paint that much, you're painting at least an hour and moving on with your day. And that was a tremendous help, especially because everyone on the website or everyone on the Facebook group is so helpful and so positive. If you just go, look what I got done tonight, you're going to get a bunch of thumbs up. You're going to get a bunch of, you can do it. You keep going. It's looking great. If you say, what do you think about this? You're going to get honest criticism, and no one's going to be harsher or mean on you or anything.
Right.
You'll get the, well, maybe you should try wash, So yeah, that's definitely, if you want something tangible that you can actually do to try and help get yourself motivated, I would go to that Facebook group.
Okay, that's good. It's good, very good tip. And speaking of good Facebook groups to help keep you motivated, there is a special one, Neil. I think you run it, the Ren 4. So this is a very weak segue to ask you about your backlog, and not talk about your website yet.
So my strategy is painting chats. So you call them Skype sessions, meetups, whatever. Either doing that or, like I said earlier, books on tape, something on TV. I do two things at once, basically. So if I'm painting, a hobby chat is like I'm not painting, I'm hanging out with friends, and I'm also doing this, right? So for those people who may not be huge on painting, may not love the process, well, you're not painting. You're hanging out with friends, you're talking with friends, and oh, by the way, you're dipping a painting brush and putting it on a model. That's happening at the same time, and you're working through your backlog. So,
and you're mocking Dave for how loud he cleans his brush.
Yes.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Which everybody should be thankful we stopped him from doing that.
Wait, hold on.
So,
we're gonna recreate this with my coffee mug and pen.
I don't bring it off the sides.
It's not nearly
All right.
Yeah, so I mean that's really my biggest strategy, is just to get on with other people, talk with other people. One thing we will be doing on Ren 4, whenever the guy who runs that page gets off his ass, is we're going to start scheduling weekly nights for hobby chats. I can't figure out what night I want to do, but what I'm thinking about doing is doing like a Zoom link, and I might put out there, and the link will go live at a certain point. There'll be nights where probably I won't be able to make it, but I'm hoping that people on the page will just click on it and jump in there, and
or you just set up a Discord and people can go as they please.
Good. I mean,
or we can do Discord.
I would say we don't really use the Strength Hammer Discord for anything. We could make like a Ren 4 specific group in there, or whatever, if you want.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, good for me.
Might as well get some use out of it. And that way too, we can post it in
No,
Ligonier, because I every time I see like some great post in Ren 4, I have to message like you, like, Neil, can you please post this over in the Ligonier chat, because I can't share from your page.
I don't know why. I don't
know either. Like, you're not a private group.
I don't get it. But I also don't get Discord. I have Discord. I use Discord. But I am an old man, and this is my like technology moment here. This is where I know it's passing me. I see Discord, and I start like this. I start to get angry a little bit.
just ask your daughter politely about how to post the link for you.
Use Bookface like everybody else. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, I whenever I first started using Discord, I was like, why do I need another stupid thing like this? Why can't we just go back to TeamSpeak or Ventrilo?
Yeah.
And
then you can play music in it.
Yeah. But once I got comfortable with it and actually figured out how to use it, I actually really like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm warming up to it. As you guys saw, some of you, actually all of you, we played Dungeons and Dragons on it the other night.
Yep.
And for the first, I don't know, what was it, half an hour of me trying to figure out what in the world I was doing on that thing.
My favorite part about all this, like, talk about like how you're struggling with technology, is your video has been frozen on my screen for the past like minute and a half during all of this ranting.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably my potato
really
laptop.
It's
probably my potato laptop, but still, this is funny.
It's my side too. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there it is.
What I really enjoyed about your time on the Discord video was your screen being cut in half and then the left and right swapped.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I also want to remind everybody that at one point in my life, my early life, I was an IT guy.
Yeah.
Which is the best part of this. It has passed me by. That is, we buried that man somewhere.
He's
along
gone.
I-71.
Dead and gone.
He's never to
With
come
all
back.
those ET Atari cartridges out in the desert.
Oh God, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, that's definitely another good tip, is to don't go it alone, for sure. Yeah, I mean, kind of like in essence, trick yourself that you're doing something else, hanging out with friends. So I do like that a lot, and yeah, and join the Ren 4 Facebook group. It is a fantastic group, and if you suck, we'll kick you out.
Yep.
Mostly
Yep.
Neil. I'm not
Positivity and inclusiveness, and I've only ever had to do it one time. Only once.
Yeah, and since then I started Damage 4. Come visit Damage 4.
Oh man. When I tackled this last year, because it was like as soon as like all the quarantine stuff, we're all like, okay, I guess we're all just home now. I literally had just traded in a Drukhari army, a new Drukhari army for 40k to get club mats, and with the help of other club members who threw in the rest of the money to get the mats. Club now has some great mats, and we've been using it this year as we can, and it's been fantastic. So I don't lament losing that, but it was very much okay. I literally had just repainted my dark angels. Yeah, I think I'm like, wait, which thing? Oh God, my dark angels. Yeah, and then I primed the Drukhari. The interest in it died, and I did it for the club mats, and then we're all in lockdown. I'm just like, crap, and I was like, now what? Like, what do I do?
Painted mats.
Well, no, it's like then I looked, and it's like I realized all the crap I collected. Like, I had Dreadfleet I never painted. I didn't have like a full army laying around like maybe some people do, but I had probably like 5,000 points worth of just general crap across multiple game systems. Let's, to give a general bit of size, and I just worked through it, and then I just continued buying and painting stuff and worked through it, and now, like I said, it's just so freeing at the point, and to just not have to have that hanging over my head. I can paint at my leisure. I can paint what I want. I don't feel pressure if I had to paint for an event either right now. If it's like, if I had to go get 10 of these to paint, it's like, okay, perfect, I will do that, and it's not going to be an issue because it's just 10 and then I'm done again. But really, it was just a matter of like sorting everything out, laying it across my table, saying, okay, what is here to paint? What looks overwhelming? What's a bite-sized thing? And kind of what you're doing, Dave. I would paint something that was a big task, like a unit of 30 of something, and then I'd go paint like maybe one of the ships from, Dreadfleet a little bit, and kind of go back and forth from small. So like, as you do the small things, you see that success, and then it gave me motivation to go and tackle the big thing, and that really helped a lot too. So definitely use that within your skill set. If you have a bunch of underworld stuff while you're painting an army, so like Matt, if you like, all right, I'm gonna paint all my battle line for my Lumineth. All right, need a break. Let me grab an underworlds or a Warcry unit or something. Like that's like the little reward system can work in that way to give yourself a little bit of a mental refresher. I mean, Matt, you're painting Lumineth, and you decided to contrast paint entire Sons of Behemoth army in between.
Yep.
Like you just need that refresher. So like that's another, I guess, tip too, is don't get so stuck into having to finish the entire army.
Yeah, my plan is basically I'll probably do, because I'm almost I'm gonna finish up those shields probably this week. I wanted to finish them up this weekend, but plans. But what I want to do is I want to get like a unit of Wardens done, and then paint some Slaves of Darkness, Lumineth, Slaves of Darkness, Lumineth, Slaves of Darkness.
Yeah.
So that way they'll probably both be done around the same time.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to do it. And I'm really glad you guys had some great tips to get through your backlog, because I won't lie, as I'm talking here and rambling, my tip for getting through your backlog is to just sit down and fucking do it. And it's very bad advice. It works for me, and probably no one else.
Because you like to lift heavy things, Chuck.
Yes. I lift things up and I put them down. Yeah, so I'm glad you guys had some great advice for this topic, because, all I can say is from someone who literally doesn't have a backlog. Like this past weekend, I had the Bugmanson model, I painted that up, and the club member's like, hey, would you paint my army for you? And then he's going to, compensate me probably with models. I think it's what we agreed on. I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I got nothing else to do. Why not? And it's like I there's also that weird thing. I don't. There's nothing out right now that I want to paint. Like I want some new, Slanesh when they do come out, but got time for that to happen.
So
I want the new battle ruse.
I do have an off topic question for you, Chuck.
Sure.
This sudden interest in KO seems to have popped up out of nowhere. What kind of sparked it?
So this is actually really interesting. It kind of ties into the subject of the night. Not having a backlog and having that freedom to go wherever I want. I was like, well, I have a Lumineth army. I can just add to it as I see fit with stuff, obviously, like the leaks we saw. I don't, like all my armies I have the list I want, except for Daughter's Kane, where I just buy everything in the world. So I was like, well, what haven't I done in a while? And like during the end times, I painted a dwarf army, or Depossessed as it would be called now. And I was like, I really just want to do this themed army. And the idea just hit me, and I committed to doing it. So it was really just from having the freedom to do whatever I wanted. I was just like, well, let's do the thing that I'm not normally doing, and just why not? Let's drop $600 to an army that's probably terrible and on a whim. Which I guess you could say could be a downside. What's that?
That's the only way to play KO is make it terrible and just shoot things.
Well, listen. There's another list I put up today on Twitter, and actually in our chat, and you go check it out at strengthhammer_. The list I just called it I have a terrible idea, and it's literally Marathi, the Shadow Queen, Teclis, a Hag Queen, 30 Witch Elves, 2 units of 10 Venari, Wardens, and Rune of Petrification, and Burning Head. But a lot of Teclis' stuff just affects friendly models. Burning Head allows friendly models to reroll 1s, which is my turn 3 buff that I get on my Witch Elves. Hag Queen will give the reroll wounds. I'm saying, like, it's going to be fun. It's terrible.
I still like the list I sent over to the group of Teclis, Marathi, and Shadow Queen, of course, Alariel, Gotrek, 2 units of Skinks, and a unit of Liberators.
I don't think you had Alariel on it, did you?
Yeah.
I think she was the one you left out.
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, I didn't put her in because she's terrible. So
she's a beautiful model. But no, back to what you brought up. Like, that was a good question. Why do I want to do KO? Like, I don't hate dwarves. I like dwarves. I love the whole Legolas Gimli thing. I have a unit of dwarves from from the end times. And now that I have the freedom to do whatever I want, I was like, well, maybe it's time to do that dwarf army. So, there's that freedom I'm talking about. Or I could have the freedom to just be like, screw it, I'll just do something else and like go play video games or whatever. But I just got to figure out if I want to commit and buy the whole army at once or piecemeal it out.
If you get the whole army at once, here's the other thing. So this goes into backlog too.
Mm-hmm.
People who buy entire armies at one time automatically, I mean, you call it a project if you want, but you're basically giving yourself a backlog. Right?
You are giving yourself a backlog. You are giving yourself a backlog for that, and I don't see it as a bad thing if you don't have a backlog. I guess I'll put it that way. If you don't, if you don't have a backlog already,
your only backlog. That's good. Yeah.
If you have 15 boxes of Blood Knights and you decide to go buy a flying KO army, maybe that's not as good.
Unless that's what you want to do, then hey man, do it.
Don't do it. No.
Give me a call. We'll play all gray sometime.
Nah, no gray.
Oh.
We'll put it all over Twitter. We'll
never try to play me with just bases Hayward. We're gonna have issues.
Now, Matt, when you do that all gray game, what you have to do is not put down your mat.
Yeah.
Don't put down your mat, but actually like draw in pencil little like things and write tree on it and rock and stuff like that.
So listen, whenever you
have a hand drawn mat.
Whenever you're playing your all gray games, okay, make sure that you're tweeting at strengthhammer_ using the hashtag gray is beautiful. Okay, that's
the hashtag is no backlog.
Here's what you do. This is the Instagram trick, and you can see it over at my Instagram at strengthhammer_.
Filters.
You use like a sepia filter on your gray model that you just kit bash because you didn't have time to prime it because you're so excited you want to take a picture of it. So you give it a sepia look, so you can't tell it's not fully painted, and it blends it all together. Yeah. That's the
especially
trick.
if it's all skeletons. Yeah, man. Remember that hashtag, gray is beautiful. Let's get it trending.
Now, is that EY or AY?
I'm a EY.
Across the pond or the American one?
I'm an EY. Which is the American?
That's the American is traditionally the A, and the E is the traditionally British version of gray. Okay.
Side note, and I want to see if you guys have this too. Dave, I think you might be the exception since you're a teacher and intelligent.
Suck it, guys. Suck it.
Suck it, dumb people. That's Dave right now. I will send emails at work, and I will throw the U after the O way more than an American should because I read a lot of Black Library, and obviously like with the codexes and battle tomes, that you see the British variant of that a lot. Like,
yeah, every single time I get the chance, I make sure I don't put the U in it, and I can hear an eagle's cry in the background.
See, that's what I need. That's what I need, Matt. Like, I need to find that freedom again. Although I don't know, I don't think Twitter likes it because I just hit 1776 followers like last week. So I decided to put up a picture of it was Mel Gibson from The Patriot with the flag. Like, okay, who cares about the movie being good or not? It's just funny. I was like, yay, 1776. And I have gone up and down between 1776 and 1774 for the past like week and a half, and it's just like, well, apparently Twitter doesn't like freedom. Oh wait, that's been confirmed. Sorry.
Every time you spell color, COLOR, another box of tea gets thrown into the ocean.
Color doesn't get it, but armor, obviously molding does. With my work in the building industry. Yeah. Anyway, I need that freedom screech in my ear. I need your help, Matt. I need you to hold me accountable. Get rid of these U's. Get rid of these U's. Anyway. Well, I think we've tackled this topic pretty well. I mean, you guys gave some great advice. I've just shamed people. Seems like a pretty average night.
Who they are, all right? They don't have to work to please me.
I am never happy.
Can I bring up something that's actually a serious point about creation of backlogs?
Yeah, sure.
So I suffer from depression, which does play a role in my development of a backlog. I look to Warhammer as this is supposed to be soothing, like you said, man. It's supposed to be relaxing. So if the painting isn't good for me, whatever. So that has definitely contributed. But I do want to point out that what Neil talked about, those paint and chats, Skype sessions, whatever the hell you want to call them, those are an amazing way to accommodate that. Because now, again, I'm not doing this by myself. I'm not down here painting like an idiot. I'm down here painting like an idiot with friends who are also painting like idiots. So I think that I have definitely suffered from a lot of lack of motivation. And the paint and chat is a great way to get down there and do something, because you feel that since other people are down there painting, you feel, hey, I should be doing this too. And it doesn't feel like a negative experience so much anymore. So I do want to point that out as a fantastic solution to a backlog problem, or even just painting motivation problem.
Now that does bring up a very good addendum to what I was saying earlier. You know, if the backlog doesn't bother you, don't let other people pressure you into feeling guilty about it. But if it is something that bothers you, then yes, definitely try and work on it. You know, if it's a problem, work on it. If it's not a problem, don't let other people tell you it's a problem.
Don't listen to the guy on the internet with an opinion, because, listen, fuck him. He doesn't matter in your life. All right? Do what you want to do. This is just
Paint
topic.
100 Noblars. Paint 100 Noblars.
And if Dave, if you want to help with those Noblars, like I have a small commission I'm knocking out here in the next month or so. I'll help. I don't mind.
How many Noblars do you have again?
I have 180.
So what I think we need to do
easy weekend, 2
get up
days.
to 300. Okay.
Are you doing it just so you're making me buy more witch elves? Is that the goal here?
No.
We're getting there. So first off, now there's 2 reasons I say 300. Okay. So first and foremost, because that would be more witch elves than what Chuck has.
Yep.
So then number 2, that gives you the opportunity to give business to Brush for Hire, because here's what you're going to do. You're going to reach out to him and be like, you know what? I have 300 Noblars. You know what else there was 300 of? Spartans. I need you to make me 300 Spartan shields and spears and little capes to go on every single one of them Noblars.
And he needs to do it while dressed as a Spartan, because he will do that.
No,
And
I think
now he'll be perfect counterculture for the Slanesh army coming out.
no. I feel like I need to contact Brush for Hire and be like, so what would the rate be for 300 Golden Demon level Noblars?
Spartan.
No.
Spartan Noblar.
Keep an eye out for Woke Roke's OnlyFans to pay for this. Holy cow! Actually, real quick, something I found kind of I didn't put this together. Obviously, seeing the new Slanesh theme has that very like Persian look from 300. I'm currently reading the Daughters of Cain novel, which is really 3 short stories with a little bit of extra writing to tie it all together, which is really nice. I always assumed the Daughters of Cain were very more Amazonian. They're definitely more of just female Spartans. A little bit more bloodthirsty, for sure. But, and as soon as I realized that, I was like, holy crap, that's the perfect counter to Slanesh. But I was like, I'm not deep into that book yet, but everyone go pick it up. It's I was like, how the hell are you going to do this with that army? But that novel's coming together really nicely. Play Daughters of Cain. Or unsubscribe.
Listen.
Play Daughters of Cain or leave. That's...
Play Daughters of Cain when they're all painted, or leave.
Yes. But anyway, we should thank Martin Orlando, friend of the show. Thank you for hanging in there. We're about to get to your favorite segment where we talk about our hobby and fitness to wrap it up here. So, Dave, what's your hobby and fitness been?
So I'll start with the fitness. For Father's Day, I think it was last year, I got this Apple Watch, and I've finally been paying attention to it. Has me set 3 goals: a standing, which is basically be non-sedentary for a minute, an hour for 12 hours a day. It has an exercise, so I'm supposed to do active exercise for 30 minutes a day, and it has a move goal, which is expend active calories, 800 a day. And so I had honestly really taken it upon myself to dive in and start hitting all 3 of those goals. And I had a nice long stretch from December 27th until I think middle of last week. And then I said, okay, I need a couple days to just cool off. But I got back to it today, and so I'm getting really aggressive with trying to get my fat ass moving. So that's the big thing for fitness right now. On the hobby side, I had been rearranging my basement once again, but I have dove into the Ideneth Deepkin, pun definitely intended.
You know who's going to be your new best friend, and I'm sure he's listening to the show. Cole from the Ligonier Club.
Yeah.
He just I let him take my Ideneth against my Lumineth. And I think he's hooked on them, just like you are.
Another good pun. I love it.
Got him.
Yes. And while I was building my eels out of the Start Collecting box, across from me was my almost 9-year-old son clipping out pieces for his Chaos Warriors. So I'm bringing in the next generation as part of my hobby right now, which is very exciting for me, and Tommy was delighted to be doing it. So.
That's fantastic. That's great. Neil, how about yourself?
Well, going back to how we started this episode, I have done nothing as far as fitness goes because I went and got a vasectomy about a week ago. So I have been on the shelf. However, what my wife and I have been talking about doing, and we're starting to take active steps to do, is
be very careful. Be very careful what you're about to say here.
It's kind of a family show.
All right,
sort
of. Is we have been looking at turning in half of our garage. We're going to be making into a little gym. So
nice.
We get some space heaters in there. We're going to look at. We've been looking for racks and all that kind of stuff. We'll see how quickly we start to put all this together. It's probably going to end up being a bench and a couple free weights to start out with.
Yeah.
But we're going to have treadmill out there. We've got a little thing we can put our bikes into, and we can ride in there. I plan on getting some gym mats out there so that my kids can do their karate and practice their different things out there in the garage as well. So we're just going to turn it into a little bit of a workout area in the garage there. So
nice.
The basement is just not conducive to that, unfortunately, because most of it holds my Warhammer stuff and the kids' toy room, and the walls are like 6'5". I think Matt would be scalped if he was down there just walking around.
I do understand that problem of I can only overhead press while sitting down. It's a little It's a little frustrating. I don't have a garage though, so. But actually, real quick, I've been looking at it for reasonably costed, great gym floor option. Go to like Agway or like Tractor Supply. Horse stall mats.
Horse stall mats, really?
Yeah. They're cheap and they're incredibly durable, and you could put extra like foam on top if the kids are like rolling around with karate and stuff. But like for dropping weights and stuff, it's fantastic for the price.
Awesome. Yeah, I was looking into those bumper weights. It's a little on my price range.
I know, but such a satisfying sound when you drop them.
Oh, I know. Amy's just like, we don't need that. I'm like, yeah, but we kind of do.
Yeah.
We kind of do.
Kind of do.
When I drop my 150-pound, squat, I need to feel like a man about it. All right.
Especially given the events of last week.
Right.
Sorry.
But no, that's what we're looking fitness-wise to do. We have to sell a sailboat, which is currently in that half of the garage right now. So once that gets sold, we can progress with that. But
Yeah, well, you just get
so
ready.
as far as hobby goes,
Getting rid of all the semen.
Wow. Wow. Goodness.
Listen, I am as barren as the Dead Sea, and it feels great. There'll be no more little meals ever again. So
We should do a men's.
Felt so good.
But yeah, so as far as hobby goes, as far as hobby goes, I think Chuck put a total of models he put up on Twitter so far for the year. I think I'm at some of these models I'm getting partial credit for because some my kids have helped out with as well. But I think I'm up to 46
this year.
I'm at 46. I'm at 51, and I'm not pushing. So Neil, I think you're gonna overtake me with all that terrain you got.
Dave's got a big goose egg over there, huh?
Yeah.
Well done.
Just
one knobbler.
I'll post it to Twitter and be like, done for the year. Hit my quota.
See, I've helped my daughter on Idneth Deepkin. I've helped my son on some of his Seraphon. I've been chugging through Nurgle. In fact, my Nurgle backlog is all minus those 3 trees, which I don't know. Might pawn those off on some club members to paint those bad boys.
Get them trees done.
Yeah. We'll see if I got any takers out there, but into the future, I know I have a friend of mine who owns Battlegrounds Game Shop, which is an excellent game store.
Fantastic shop.
In Ravenna, Ohio.
Yes.
Or online at battlegrounds.com.
If they got
a Facebook page,
maybe check the Facebook page, which I'm sure there's links to it within Ren 4. So join Ren 4.
So, I mean, I'm giving this guy free advertising, but for what he's done for our tournaments, that's the least I could do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Free tournaments, basically, yeah.
He did some consulting with my wife, who may be in the process of becoming an independent contractor for speech therapy, what she does. So kind of starting her own business maybe a little bit. We'll see. But she asked, how much do I owe you? And she said, well, my husband could paint another army for you. Just volunteered me for that. So I may actually end up painting a 40K army, which, I'm talking about having to slog through. Now this is going to be the worst.
Now, Neil, I actually just talked to him Friday night, and he said he had been thinking about an Archeon-led Siege force with the Lord of Change and Kairos Fate Weaver and Archeon and a couple of Varangard.
No, he didn't.
Listen.
He better not.
Listen. Okay. I know a joke about 180 Noblars in a weekend, which I still think I could do. I literally painted 10,000 points of Dark Angels in 48 hours. Okay. It's if he says
they're Space Marines, man, they're getting painted blue.
If they're Space Marines, I will tell you how to do them, and you'll be done. It'll be great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What you do is you get this can from Sherwin-Williams and just.
So if he's listening, I hope maybe go for some like Dark Eldar or some Harlequins, something that drive Neil nuts. Tell him to make paint diamonds on some Harlequins.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, perfect.
That's. I suggested that he do the Archeon and Lord of Change and Kairos. So I figured you'd love the feathers and doing another Archeon.
Those are actually 2 of the models I've painted the longest, like the longest paint job, I guess you could say, onto a model. Oh my God.
That is exactly why I suggested that to Matt.
Or have him paint a whole Lumineth army. We know how much he loves those models. That's.
Oh God.
That's.
I will say this about the Lumineth, and I just want to put this in here real quick. I'm glad they exist. Super glad they exist. Super glad people enjoy them. Not for me.
And I will say this as an addendum to that. If you're staring at a unpainted Lumineth army right now, do your colors. When you get to that point where like, I should just do the trim. There's some raised edges for the trim on these models. I should just do that. fucking don't.
That's not where I was expecting that to go.
Yeah, no. That almost broke me during that army. Just all that trim. It looks so good. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad I did it, but I freaking hate it. Like, just don't.
That's how I feel about all the painting, Chuck.
Okay. Okay.
I'm glad I did it, but oh my god, it was awful.
Well, Neil, is that all you had on the hobby end then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'm good there.
Matt.
All right, so on the fitness side has been a little barren. Like
Neil.
Yeah. Last December, like either last week of December, first week of January, I did something that just messed my back up to high heaven. So,
were you doing the thing Neil can't do right now? We're not drinking, by the way. I don't think any of us have alcohol. Like, I had hot cocoa before this, and it's hitting me hard. I tell you that.
That Irish cocoa.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I did something and it just started. It's just like one day, just
yeah, she has a name.
I just woke up one morning and it hurt, and then I woke up the next morning and it hurt more, etc., etc. So I've been trying to do a lot of icing and stuff. I haven't had time to get out to the chiropractor, but that's basically what it's just going to keep going until I get to the chiropractor. So other than that, like I said, I mean, I've been just reducing, not reducing, but I've been maintaining, more home cooked meals, less fats, less salts, less sugars, trying to regulate caloric intake.
Yes.
And again, I know it sounds weird, but trying to get the caloric intake, a healthy caloric intake up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, that's legit.
Those bigger guys need more than the 2K. So, and I have a hard time hitting 2K. So, but hobby has been a journey today, or a journey this month, guys. It's so.
Is it a journey to Middle Earth, Matt?
No, I haven't painted Middle Earth yet. Oh, that's also my backlog.
All of Middle Earth.
Yeah, so I finished up painting my sons of Behemoth SOBs. I did 3 big guys, 3 little guys. So I actually did 4 little guys because I painted the whole box, both boxes. And then I've also built everything that I've ordered late December or late November and all throughout December finally came in like the last 2 weeks. So I got Dire Chasm in, so I built Dire Chasm. I bought the Start Collecting box for Slaves of Darkness, so I built all of that. Whenever the new Warcry stuff came out, I ordered 2 of the boxes for the Sylvaneth, because that was a great deal.
Yeah.
So I bought 2 of those. I'm in the middle of building that to add to Morgan's army. And then what else was there? There was something else. I forget what else. But and then of course the biggest, greatest news, coming hot off of my trophy win from Mike's tournament, over to a small one-day Ligonier event where I came in first with Sons. Stomping all the competition.
Yeah, it was fun to watch you roll impact hits and just take things off.
It was. So what's funny is the only time you watched me do the impact hit was the only time it was actually like.
Well, you missed 1 point of damage across all your monsters. Yeah.
So I got all 6 in, and all 6 got the impacts, and I got 3s on all of them except for the one guy, and he did 2. And Alex was just sitting there like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, I remember because it was an elimination tournament. Yeah, so it was Hallowheart versus your Sons of Behemoth, and I remember. Top of 1, he shot you to pieces. All your models were like half dead, and then you charged, and then his army went away, and it was so like, what is going on? This is beautiful. The only thing more fun than playing the army, I think, is just watching someone play the army.
Yeah, I mean, so he put all of his shots, because it's a very heavy shooting army list, that he put everything into my general, which was the Kraken Eater, and thankfully I gave him the command trait to give him 40 wounds instead of 35, because he did 32 wounds by the end of turn one. And I'm like, wow, any other army that would have just completely taken me out of the game. But so thankfully since he relies very heavily on his chaff, he strings them out very far, so I was able to get a lot of these impact hits all into 2 units, which then led me be able to get into the range stuff, which let me clear them out. But the one thing I'll say, for every single one of the games, it was a super nail biter. Because it's like, if I lose like one big guy or 2 of the little guys, I don't know what to do. I don't have enough to do anything. I can still capture and hold, but like, I don't have enough to kill anything. And every single time it came down to me just getting whittled down to almost having nothing. And it's like, if I get the double turn, then it's like, oh, game's mine. But if they get the double turn, I can still hang on as long as I don't kill something.
I will say this too, that final game. So you had played this. That was your 3rd game with Sons of Behemoth, which meant your hero phase was you going, cool, done. Compared to Hallowheart's hero phase, which is a monster of a calculus test.
Rito, do you want anything?
Yeah. So by the end of that game, Alex was drained. You could tell, like, he was just like mentally fatigued, and Matt's just like, ba, 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 I put you in my pants. Ba, 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 ba. So like, I think that has a big part of it too.
They were also playing Warhammer.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was fun to watch, and congrats on that win. That was a fun little one there. And thanks to our local store here, Toy Soldier Gallery, for giving some great prize support for just a little event. And we also collected, I think, just over 100 cans for local food drive. We've been doing that each month with our club. So, yeah, that was fun to see.
Yeah, so I was super happy to see the Suns. I don't think the reign of the Suns is going to last for super long, because I think once people figure out how the army works, that's going to be a pipe dream. But at no point did I feel like I was overpowered. I never felt like I was just bullying anybody. It felt like it had a really good back and forth feel to it.
From the outside perspective, it looked like you were bullying. So I could see why some people, like, I mean that seriously. Like, I can see why people, if you don't play it, you're not going to fully understand it. But from like outside perspective, I was just like, you're just picking on Alex. What do you?
No, like I said, I mean, I was biting my nails down to my fingertips on some of those rounds, because it was just, if he would have got a couple extra rolls.
Matt, you really need to remember that there are 2 different viewpoints. One is that of the pavement, one is that of the steamroller. They view this as a very different experience.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is like, whenever you lose a model, you know, if it's a big guy, you're losing 25% of your army. I mean, it's and like, because the little guys, everything that I heard prior to was that they're kind of your damage dealers, and it wasn't until my game with Alex that I started figuring out how to use them. Because before what I was doing, I was kind of ganging up like 2 to go into a unit here or there, and they don't work. They just evaporate at that point. You have to have them basically go in concert with a big guy to make your opponent go, okay, what's this unit going to attack? Because the big guys, where all the utility comes from, so they're going to put a lot of focus into them, and then that frees up the little guys to do just enough just enough damage to make them worthwhile putting on the table.
Nice.
And their ability to run and charge whenever within 12 is amazing.
Yeah, run and charge is a great ability. I guess, did you have anything else, Matt?
I think that's all I can be. That's all I can expect. That's...
Okay. Well, for myself on the fitness, just continuing going to the gym since we are opened back up since January 3rd or 4th, whenever it was. In full kind of prep mode for the CrossFit Open, which is happening mid-March. So it's 3 months away, but that's a lot of like working on the skill work for like the skill type of lifts, obviously continuing to work on my conditioning. My strength is still really good for what the CrossFit Open would demand. Like obviously I want to get stronger, but it's good with where it's at. But like, you know, like I can do a muscle up and I can do a couple in a row. They're not cleanest, you know, but I need to work on getting a ring muscle up, or like handstand walks, like, you know, work on you know, and some of the stuff like that. So really focusing on that, and that's also part of diet. So just I'm trying to get more and more focused as these days and weeks go on. So fitness continuing on as usual for me, just a little bit more focus, I guess. As far as hobby, like I said, I finished up painting my Lumineth since last time. I got to run a couple games with them, and really falling in love with that play style. So yeah, like I want to play them more, but I'm also debating on, sorry about that, also debating on at least playing all the armies I own at least once this year, and I've debated on trying to do pick one of the armies I own and play it till I win a game, and then go to the next army and try to get through all my armies this year. Kind of back and forth in that idea, but at the very least I want to play all the armies I own, because I haven't played my Stormcast or my Khorne in literally years. So we'll see how I'm doing with that. And then yeah,
Can we challenge Neil to play every army he has until he wins a game? Because he'll be stuck on like one army for like 2-3 years.
See, that's what I'm worried about. Like I'm like, okay, I did Lumineth. I should probably play my Daughters of Cain next. I still feel like I could win with my Stormcast, but then I'm gonna pull up my Har-Quran list and be like, or my Sylvaneth. And it's gonna be might be a while.
Play Neil. Just arrange a game with Neil, and it's a sure thing.
You know what I want to work on this year is finding an army that actually plays in all phases. I'm sitting here, I'm looking at my armies. I'm like, Khorne, no shooting. No shooting.
No magic either for Khorne.
Caradron Overlords, all the shooting, no combat phase, or hero phase really. Who else? Nurgle, no real shooting phase, you know, whatsoever on them. Very little to do, and no magic, you know, really that's of any consequence if you're playing anybody who's at least competent at magic.
Neil.
Who?
Neil, I have the
Gash.
I have the perfect army for you. How would you like an army that is baller in the hero phase?
Is it 40k?
No. It's baller in the hero phase. Lots of magic, fun endless spells, ability to just cast at whim, followed by the movement phase, where you have spells that you just cast in that hero phase you get to use to double movement and then move up and keep a nice solid crunchy center, but you have enough room to branch out with this nice big base of a hero in the middle. And then you get to shooting phase. Obviously, there's shooting in this army. I mean, there's bows, and you have 30-inch range with no line of sight, or 18-inch with some rend, but you need some line of sight. So you have kind of options within there. And then after that, you have the, you know, obviously charge phase. No. There is a combat phase.
No combat phase in this army.
There is a combat phase, because you get to choose. You get to choose 2 units to fight with in the combat phase. And let me tell you, when you're rolling the dice, because you cast these spells in the hero phase, and you're fishing for 5s and 6s to do mortal wounds, ooh, it gets spicy when you're rolling handfuls of dice and you're just putting out the mortal wounds. Better yet, you finish this. You finish the combat phase, and it goes, okay, battle shock phase. All right, no one really does much of battle shock phase. We just ignore battle shock. But wait, there's a hero that you can take multiple of. That you can say, see the unit you just killed of mine? Yeah. Oh, look, I rolled a 2+. You take that battle shock, bitch. And then you're playing in every single phase, and you are playing the Lumineth Realm Lords, sir.
See, they don't have a combat phase, because when they swing their stupid hammers, they get caught in their helmets. They just can't, you know. They're just.
I'm not. That's why he takes spears. I'm not running the hammers. I'm taking spears.
Neil, what you need?
They charge. They trip over their MC Hammer pants. They just.
No, they float and they fly. Listen, Lumineth Realm
Dinosaurs,
Lords.
Neil.
Lumineth Realm Lords.
Dinosaurs.
Every single
Sort.
phase, including Battle
All
Shovel.
right, listen. I will start living at the Realm Lords when I start to enjoy working with Discord. All right, that's
Actually, okay. Actually, Neil,
just
the next time we get to game, I would like you to try my Realm Lords. Just that way you don't have to buy them. Just try it. See if you like the play style. Then we'll go.
Neil
there.
will show you how to lose with that army.
I know how to lose with that army. Don't worry. I just discovered how to win with that army. Actually, that's.
I'll just forget some rule or read some rule wrong that massively alters the game. So even if I did win, I would de facto lose.
Yeah, my first 2 games, full games with them on the table against other opponents. That wasn't just me playing against myself. I forgot that Teclis has a bubble. That on a 4-up, you ignore a spell and do D3 damage back to somebody. I was ignoring that, and I played Zinch, so I understand what you're coming from. Because I could have been a little bit more effective. But, yes, hobby, I have a commission for a club member. I'm looking to start my KO army here soon. Soonish, I don't know. We'll see what comes. I'm still committed to doing it, and I'm going to try and hold myself to get that army done this year. But that's it. And the only other commitment I will say is the next episode next month. That'll be February. Valentine's month. That'd be great. We will talk about our first session of Soulbound together, because I'm going to commit to making sure we get together here soon to make sure our characters are created, and then have that session of Soulbound with us, and then we can talk about their experiences and characters on the next episode. I think it'd be fun.
Cool.
And then in 2 weeks, we have the next episode of Big M Power Hour.
And we promised to reveal, if you've seen the thumbnail, there's a cute little pupper as Selenar to Matt's tech list. Matt, would you please bring the cute little pupper named Zoe onto the show briefly, so people can understand the reference that I threw in? That was literally just for me and Neil, apparently, because he met Zoe.
I met Zoe.
Did you meet Zoe? Yeah. Oh, you did meet Zoe. Yep, sorry.
It'll be perfect because she's getting she has a haircut next Saturday or next Sunday, so
perfect.
She'll be all groomed for the episode.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know which topic we're gonna tackle yet. I'm kicking around a couple of ideas. Last episode we kind of dealt with the City of Sigmar, the mechanics kind of paint themselves into a corner. I'm kind of kicking around such things of like what I want if we are, if and when we get 3rd edition, kind of like a rework on how I would have liked to have seen KO, maybe even old world. Who knows? I got plenty of stuff in the old think tank.
Yep, and we'll see what the preview this weekend reveals. Maybe there's something there you want to talk about. But
we will talk about 40K just enough to keep Neil and Dave away. That's
okay. Perfect. Neil, where can folks find you?
You can find me at Ren4 or on the Twitters. You cannot find me on Discord. You can find me at Neil Araka on Twitters. And I suppose if they force me, I will get on Discord.
Okay. Matt, how about you?
You can find me at strengthhammer _ #HeyMatt.
Perfect. Okay, we're leaving it there. Dave, what about you?
On Facebook, you can find me in the Ren4 group, and on Twitter, though I don't post much at all, at Night of the Dave.
Night of the Living Dave or Night of the Dave? Did you change it?
It's Night of the Dave because it's not. I wanted to put Night of the Living Dave, but it's too long.
Okay.
Don't know. So it's Night of the Dave.
Okay. All right. As for me, you can find me at strengthhammer _
#HeyChuck.
Yes. Oh, hey. Random plug. Strengthhammer has merch now over on Teespring. Go to strengthhammer.net and there's a big button you can click.
And check the description below.
Yes, I will put the link below. Please like and subscribe and follow, comment, share with your friends, and stay Stormcast strong and happy hobbying. Bye.
Ciao.